I feel truly privileged to introduce Shri Gaurang Ji Prabhu. He is a graduate from IIT Bombay, also a leadership and mindfulness coach, a member of ISKCON's governing body commission. He is actively involved in enhancing leadership effectiveness and governance of temples and communities globally. Gaurang Ji is a director of ISKCON's Govardhan Eco Village. He is advisor for sustainable development of the Ekta Dham project by the Honorable CM of Madhya Pradesh, Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan. He was on the board of founders of Rishihood University is India's first and only impact university. He is on the board of high-profile advisory committee of the Central Sanskrit University, the largest multi-campus global Sanskrit university having 12 campuses across India. He is the administrative director of Bhakti Vedanta Research Center at the Inspirational Speaker and author of 3 books, The Art of Resilience, The Art of Focus, and The Art of Habits. He is a visiting faculty at IIM Nagpur for PGDM students and takes credit courses of life management skills. He received honorary doctorate from the Kaziranga University of Assam for all his valuable contributions. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Shri Gaurang Ji Prabhu.
Most welcome, Gaurang ji. So happy to see you. Thank you for joining us. I think you are in US right time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vikrant ji, and thank you, Mr. Prasad, for welcoming me.
All our ears to you, and we are eager to listen to you on spiritual conflict resolution, finding peace through compassionate communication. All our ears to you for the next 14 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the Bhagavad Gita is spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and battlefield symbolizes conflict. Arjuna is a warrior, Krishna is his chariot driver, and when Arjuna comes on the battlefield, he has a track record of winning every battle in life. Arjuna has successfully conquered over all kinds of opponents. He has control over all kinds of weapons. But when he comes on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna experiences something very unique. For the first time, Arjuna experiences doubt. Arjuna experiences conflict in his thinking, confusion in his decision making, in his choices. Arjuna's one name is Gudakesh. Gudakesh means one who has conquered sleep. When Arjuna was a young student, Dronacharya had given an instruction: never feed Arjuna in the dark. But one day, Dronacharya was not there, and Arjuna was eating in the evening. There was a kind of a lamp nearby, and suddenly the wind blew and the lamp blew out, and Arjuna continued eating. And Arjuna started thinking, I am able to eat in the dark. If I am able to eat in the dark and my hand is able to find its way and mark to the mouth in the dark, why can't I practice in the dark? And that day Arjuna decided, I will start practicing even at night. So Arjuna thus started practicing day and night. And therefore, Arjuna is known as Gudakesha. That means one who has so much of diligence, determination, dedication, that one cannot imagine in today's context what kind of dedicated energy Arjuna was carrying. Arjuna had such focus that Arjuna could look at the reflection of the fish in the water and still pierce the eye. So Arjuna had determination, Arjuna had focus, Arjuna had dedication, and Arjuna had the best track record of winning all battles. But when he comes in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna is telling Krishna, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapayame Achyuta यावदेता निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धु कामान अवस्थितान् सेनयोर उभयोर मध्ये. My dear Krishna, bring my chariot between the two armies. Ratham sthapaya, place my rath. Achyuta, oh dear Achyuta. I want to see Yamadeta Niriksheham. I want to see with my eyes. Yodhu Kaman, who have come to fight and come in a conflict. So, this is the beginning of understanding conflict. We are always extremely observant, we are extremely careful and constantly scouting outside to see who is in conflict with me. And if I see somebody in conflict with me, immediately my defense systems and mechanisms come out and we want to stop and defend. So the Mahabharata says, Ahar Nidra Bhaya Maitunam cha Samana etat Pashubhir Naranam Dharmo Hitesham Adhiko Vishesho Dharme Nihina Pashubhis Samana. There are four characteristics common to all human beings and animals. Ahar, eating. Nidra, sleeping. Maithun, which is mating. And bhai, which is fearing or defending. Out of these four, ahar, eating can be done for limited time in a day. Maithun can be done for a limited time. Nidra can be done for a limited time. But the only one principle out of the four which accompanies us 24 by 7 is bhaya or fear, anxiety, stress, various kinds of insecurities about the future. And all of these arise out of the feeling that I am under attack. I am in conflict with my surroundings. I'm in conflict with outside. And that conflict is going to take away and snatch away my body. It is going to take away my husband or wife. That conflict is going to take away my children and their security. That conflict is going to take away my property, my house. That conflict is going to take away my vehicle. That conflict is going to take away my wealth. That conflict is going to take away my position, social acceptance, and people will rubbish me, disrespect me, and I will lose status. And that conflict will take away my career and influence, and someone else will become more influential than me. So, all of these are potential conflicts we are always afraid of. Atmajaya suta gara pashudravina bandushu rajye chavikale nityam virudham mamatam jaho. So, these are the conflicts we are preparing ourselves for, battles to fight against and conquer over and establish our identity as that of a stability with respect to body, to keep the body healthy, to husband and wife protected and secure, to keep the children educated, nourished, to keep the house secure and pay the property taxes, to maintain the vehicle, to increase our income, to invest right, to maintain relationships with people in society so that we are respected and accepted, and to make sure that we make the right choices so that our career trajectory grows. So we, each one of us in life is constantly fighting these 8 conflicts. And as we are fighting these 8 conflicts, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but this battle absorbs us constantly. Now, the interesting thing about Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna had practically all these 8 under his control. Yes, of course. Now and then he also had to go through difficulty like having lost his palace, his home, and being in Vanavas, losing reputation when they could not defend Draupadi. So nobody is immune to being defeated in these conflicts. But now, when Arjuna is facing Krishna, and Krishna is telling Arjuna that you want to see who's in front of you in this battle? See Bhishma, see Drona. So far Arjuna's identity was, I am a Kshatriya, my nature is that of a Kshatriya, my occupation is that of a Kshatriya. So Arjuna's Swabhava was that of a fighter, Arjuna's Swadharma was that of a fighter. So many times in today's corporate situation, people find it difficult to find alignment between their Swabhava and Swadharma. That is also a big conflict majority of the workforce is going through, that I have a certain job, in marketing or finance, but that may be my occupation, but my nature is that of a scholar. So a person finds himself out of place. So there is a huge amount of productivity loss globally because of misalignment between swabhava and swadharma, between nature and occupation. So that's a big conflict people are fighting. But Arjuna had sorted that conflict also. His nature, swabhava, was to fight, and his occupation, swadharma, was to fight. Kshatriya means one who becomes absorbed in conflict. Brahmana means one who becomes absorbed in acquisition of knowledge. Vaishya means one who becomes absorbed in acquiring wealth. So Arjuna was a perfect Kshatriya. So he had no issues with fighting. He had won every battle in the past. In fact, when he tells Krishna, I want to become beggar and all in future, Krishna tells him, you are a Kshatriya, you have to fight. Even if you go to beg, if somebody insults you, you will hit the kamandalu on their head and kill him. So better you kill on the battlefield than on in any other informal, place which is not bona fide. So therefore, Arjuna now is faced with this situation where Krishna brings him right in front of two personalities, Bhishma and Drona. So when Arjuna sees Bhishma, he looks at his grandfather. When he sees Drona, he sees his teacher. Now the real conflict begins. Arjuna is thinking, should I kill my grandfather or should I love my grandfather? Should I respect my teacher or should I kill my teacher? Then he looks at Duryodhana and he says, oh, he's my enemy. I should kill Duryodhana. But then he's conflicted between these three. Should I kill Duryodhana? Should I love Bhishma? Should I respect Drona? Should I kill my enemy? Should I love my grandfather? Should I respect my teacher? So, what Arjuna is going through is a classic conflict of identities. So, the greatest conflict which anybody can experience is conflict in identities. See, here is a fighter who, when attacked, would fight back. So, many of us have fighting spirit. When we are attacked from outside, we get the energy to fight back. But what happens if the fight happens within and the battle between identities is such that some of our identities collapse? And that's what happened. That conflict between Arjuna's identity as a enemy, as an enemy of Duryodhan, as a grandson of Bhishma, and as a student of Drona, these three identities conflicted, and Arjuna was bewildered what to do. And so he tells Krishna, Ve patuscha sharire me ro maharshascha jayate Gandiva sramshate hastat chaiva paridahyate. My limbs are trembling, my mouth is drying up, my hairs are standing on end. I'm experiencing the symptoms of depression because depression means not knowing the reason why I should perform this activity. Depression means you have the skill with you, but you lose the will. So Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, because of conflict between his multiple identities, lost the will to fight. And Arjuna did not even have any social media accounts to confuse his identities further. So today, as we live in a volatile world, as we live in an extremely uncertain world, all of us have to realize that spiritual consciousness is so crucial and so critical, because when Krishna realized that Arjuna's Swabhava and Swadharma is not helping him overcome his internal conflict, Krishna had to introduce another level of identity to Arjuna, which was his Swarupa. And he says, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara, tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. The soul moves from birth, gradually grows, and as the body becomes old, dies, the soul goes into another body. The soul doesn't change. And so the chapter 2, Krishna begins 11th verse to 30th verse. Krishna speaks about the nature of the soul in great detail. And when we realize that I am not this body, I am the soul, we are being revealed another level of consciousness, Swarupa, that is my eternal identity. The Jiva is Sanatan, Paramatma Ishwar is Sanatan. The connection of seva between Jiva and Paramatma is Sanatan. That duty of the soul towards the Sanatan Supreme Soul is known as Sanatan Dharma. And therefore, I congratulate the United Consciousness for organizing this spiritual convention where we are able to help people go beyond their multiple conflicts in their identities and situate themselves by taking shelter of early morning prayer every single day, where the Sanatan Jiva connects with the Sanatan Ishwar through Sanatan Seva, and that Sanatan Dharma will be the anchoring feature for each one of us to overcome all kinds of conflicts experienced at the level of Swabhava and Swadharma by realizing our true Swarupa, Jivere Swarupoir Krishnera Nitya Das. Thank you very much, Vikranji, for inviting me.
So kind of you, Gaurang Das ji. We always feel honored and inspired listening to you. You rightly invoked the qualities of Arjuna as we have, but in spite of all those skills, people may lose will. As you rightly mentioned, every superhero has a low, and during that low, the superhero needs a mentor, a guide like Krishna who can make him realize his swadharma, as you rightly concluded that Jeev, Ishvara, and Seva, these three all are Sanatan. The connect between Jeev and Ishvara is Sanatan, and following on this path, walking on this path is Sanatan Dharma. So beautifully, you did absolute justice with the topic. So much happy and inspired. Gaurang Das ji, thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you. Thank you, Vikrant.
Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Prabhuji Gaurang Das Ji for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views.